We view nature primarily as an extractable resource. This utilitarian perspective creates a profound physical and psychological disconnect, leaving us as outsiders to the very biological systems that support us. This is the Appalachian Plateau. Its structure is defined by sedimentary layers of sandstone and limestone dating back 300 million years. The raw sensory data of Bear Run, the shifting light, the texture of the rock, the roar of the stream, forms the first nature input of this ancient system. In 1934, the Kaufman family asked for a summer house built at a safe distance from these falls, specifically so they could look at them from their windows. This conventional request highlights the failure of passive observation. When we treat nature as a distant, framed picture, it becomes a static object rather than a living system we are forced to inhabit. Frank Lloyd Wright realized that staring directly at a landscape's most dramatic feature eventually strips it of its impact. Constant visual exposure makes even a waterfall feel tiresome and predictable. Wright's organic ambition stood in direct contrast to the European modernist standard of the time. That international style treated a house as a machine for living, a sealed industrial container isolated from the land. Wright's solution was to place the structure directly over the falls. This forces the inhabitants to live within the system of the water, rather than merely observing it from the shore. Architecture functions here as an interface. It processes environmental data to integrate human life back into the local ecosystem. Wright used the Japanese concept of miyagakure, or hide and reveal, to choreograph how people move through the site. He prioritized the audible roar of the water over visual confirmation, creating a path of discovery that unfolds over time. The building uses an entry algorithm known as the squeeze. Stone walls narrow and ceilings drop, physically compressing the senses. This leads to the release. The space suddenly expands into light-filled living areas, pulling the eye outward into the forest. This spatial sequence demonstrates that architecture is a behavioral tool. By physically compressing and releasing the body, Wright alters the occupant's readiness to engage with the wild, natural environment. Wright used locally quarried Pottsville sandstone throughout the house. He laid the stones in horizontal layers to mimic the natural rock formations of the Appalachian Plateau. The central hearth is built directly atop the family's original picnic boulder. This physical bridge brings the geology of First Nature into the heart of the built environment. Mitered glass corners eliminate traditional structural frames, dissolving the boundary between the interior and the forest. But maintaining this organic illusion requires aggressive modern engineering. The heavy reinforced concrete cantilevers project over the water with no visible vertical support. These heavy concrete slabs eventually sagged under their own weight. This engineering failure required extensive modern restoration to reinforce the structure and prevent its collapse. This second nature is an engineered illusion. It shows that harmonizing with nature requires pushing human technology to its absolute physical limits. Computer modeling extends Wright's analog interface into a high-fidelity data stream we call third nature. Architect Daniel Libeskind argues that buildings should be immersive, emotional dialogues with a site, rather than repetitions of classical styles. Digital tools like climate sensors and environmental mapping quantify the exact movement of wind and light. This allows architects to align a building's orientation and thermal mass with the specific physics of its landscape. By calculating these organic inputs, modern design can reduce energy waste and minimize its physical footprint. Digital environments provide the precision needed to create responsive human habitats. The central lesson of Fallingwater is that engineering achieves its highest potential when it serves as a bridge to the natural world. Our emerging digital landscape allows us to write a more precise algorithm for living, one that integrates human systems into the Earth's biological rhythms. Organic architecture creates a system where human life and natural processes calculate one another's needs in perfect equilibrium.